Here's what the New York Knicks should do this offseason. So obviously the Knicks season has come to an end, but the Knicks have a ton of assets, which is why there's going to be a lot of talk around the team about what they're going to do this offseason, especially because they are putting themselves in a position to be a championship contender in the near future. And maybe that championship window starts next season if they get the right players. So let's dive into this video. So first we have Mikal Bridges. Now the reason I want to talk about Mikal Bridges is because obviously we know his Villanova connection, Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson, DiVincenzo. I think it's no secret that they would want to play with him and that the Knicks most likely want him. Here's a few reasons why I think it could be realistic. My first initial thought is that this would never happen just because he's on the Nets, and the Nets would never do a deal to make the Knicks, even better. Like their hometown rival, the same state, that would be crazy. But here's why the Nets might consider it. The Nets just traded away the whole KD, Kyrie, and James Harden experiment. Didn't work, and they were trying to do a semi-rebuild here by bringing in someone like Mikal Bridges, who is hitting his prime and obviously has the potential to be one of the best two-way players in the league. Not saying he is the best two-way player in the league, I'm not saying that. Just has the potential to be one of them. But, and we don't know this for sure, but there have been lots of rumblings and rumors that Mikal Bridges is not really happy with the Nets. We don't know if that's true, I'm not saying it is true, but if that's the case, and the thing is the Nets don't have a ton of assets because of all the trades they made to get KD and Kyrie. And because the Knicks have a ton of picks that they are definitely willing to trade away, they have so many first-round picks that they could give away, that might be something that the Nets consider, because the Nets really should just go in full rebuild mode and just build around, like Cam Thomas is showing so much promise and stuff like that. They have Nick Claxton. So if I was the Nets, I would try to maximize Mikal Bridges' potential or his value right now if Mikal Bridges doesn't want to be there. And the Knicks are clearly hungry to win now with this crew. And they would probably pay an extra price just to get Mikal Bridges because of his relationship with the other, players on the team. So if that's the case, if I'm the Nets, I might consider it, because what if I can get 4 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges? That may be a little hefty, but the Knicks have so many picks, I'm sure they're willing to give a bunch away. And again, they have to pay the price if they want Mikal Bridges, who is on the other side of the state of the city. And this would be an awesome fit for the Knicks because the Knicks need wing depth. Like, imagine having OG Anunoby as your starting wing. Although I guess Mikal would have to start. They have to figure out how they would work that out, because I feel like one of them would have to come off the bench. But regardless, having OG, one of the best two-way players in the league, and then having another player in Mikal Bridges who can be one of the best defenders, lockdown, long arms, and Mikal Bridges is Iron Man, okay? He does not miss a game. He hasn't missed a game since high school, I think. So you don't have to worry about him getting injured. So you'll have him for all the playoff series. So Mikal Bridges, they need to push for that. Number 2 is actually a free agent signing. And it's just ironic that he also was on the Nets this year. It wasn't on purpose. But Lonnie Walker IV. Why I think Lonnie Walker IV would be a great pickup is that, one, he is a free agent. So unlike Mikal Bridges and a couple other players we'll talk about, they will have to be trades. And then, you have to figure out the money and all that kind of stuff. But he is a free agent, so they can pick him up and they don't have to worry about anybody else, having to make a deal with. Lonnie Walker did have some injuries this year. But when he was there, he was cooking and he would go on his own little scoring runs. And I feel like the Knicks could use some additional scoring and just someone like him who could just come off the bench and just give them that, kind of like that Jordan Clarkson scoring off the bench. Like, he will come in and give you buckets. He is athletic. And I just feel like he would actually fit alongside, the rest of the team, and he would fit in the system. We also know he came from the Spurs. So, it's just like you get a reputation when you play with the Spurs that you probably know how to play basketball. Like, that's a good thing that the Spurs have that reputation following them. So I think Lonnie Walker knows how to play smart basketball. And I think if the Knicks can get him, if he wants to take a vet minimum, I don't know what his offers are going to be, but he is someone they definitely need to look into. Bruce Brown is another one who would be a trade. And we obviously know that, last year there was a lot of rumors the Knicks might trade for him. Well, now we heard a couple days ago that the Raptors are going to pick up his team option and are likely going to move him. So what does that mean for the Knicks? Well, Bruce Brown is kind of like Josh Hart in a way. Like, they're not exactly the same, but do you know how Josh Hart, will get the ball and go coast to coast and just get a layup and just push the pace, and go all the way down the court and get a layup by himself, have a one-man fast break? That's what Bruce Brown did for Denver in their championship year last year. He was doing that throughout the playoffs. Bruce Brown also plays, some good defense. Bruce Brown is a pretty good passer. I think the difference between Bruce Brown and Josh Hart would be Josh Hart is definitely a better rebounder, because Josh Hart, we know, is like one of the best rebounders in the league. Not even just for a guard forward, in the league. And then I would say Bruce Brown is probably a better scorer. So like, if you have two players who have some similar skill sets, if you love Josh Hart, then you would love Bruce Brown, basically is what I'm saying. I think there would be no issue with him fitting into the culture. He obviously is a winning player. He just won a championship, so he knows how to win. He's been there before. He has experience. This is someone who would be a really, really good pickup, and Bruce Brown is on the last year of his deal. This team option is the last year of his deal. So if the Knicks, for whatever reason, doesn't work out with him, his money will be off the books next year. So this is definitely one of the most interesting pickups that they could have. I think Torrey Craig is someone else they should look at. He is going to be a free agent. I don't think it's unrealistic that he would take a veteran minimum. I think, again, he would fit in the culture. 3-and-D guy, that's what he's always been known for, and stuff like that. And I feel like he could have that, the Otto Porter role, like that he had on the Warriors, that Otto Porter had on the Warriors. Torrey Craig can kind of have that on the Knicks in a way. And again, coming at a vet minimum, it only can help you. You know what I mean? Like, he is someone who could play basketball. So imagine having him off your bench. Like, for the Knicks, like, I'm sure they want to get a giant star as well, but you also just want to keep adding depth because, unfortunately, we saw they were down major players with major injuries. And not that if they had Torrey Craig, they would have just won the championship. That's not what I'm saying. But the more depth that you could have, like players that literally can just come in off the bench, kind of how Alec Burks did, the more players you have like that, the better, just in case. So like, it doesn't hurt to have Torrey Craig on your bench. If they want to go in the direction of a guard, I'm not sure they do, which is why I didn't really put many guards on here. But someone that I've always been a fan of is DeLon Wright. DeLon Wright always plays well when he gets his opportunity. Like, when he starts, I say this every time I talk about him, he puts up really good numbers. And he's a very, very good defender. Like, a top defender as a guard. He doesn't even get enough credit for how good of a defender he is. He could have been a candidate for the all-defensive team, I think last year when he was with the Wizards, or maybe the year before that. Like, if he hadn't gotten hurt, he could have been a candidate. That's how good of a defender he is. And he played on the Miami Heat, so Miami Heat culture obviously is about playing basketball and playing it very hard and smart. So, again, leans into the Knicks culture as well. And so I feel like he would fit in, and he would play smart basketball. And if they want to go in a guard direction, this is who I would pick up if he was available. He is a free agent. I don't know if he's going to re-sign with the Heat or not, but we'll see. And the last player that I'll give a little shout out to is Giannis, because the entire league is looking around and watching to see what happens with Giannis. Does he want out? We don't know. But the Knicks have all the assets to acquire Giannis if they want to, in terms of picks. So look out for Giannis if he wants out, because the Knicks will definitely be someone who are trying to get him.